Hey my beauties, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Formosa Fantasy, and today I'm giving you another makeup video, okay? But this video I'm going to be sharing tips that you can have your makeup lasting long during the summer and also no flashback. Hey, oh, it's your girl. It's time for another video, Like, comment, share, sub for other videos. Let's do this. So starting off with the brows, so I'll be going in with my Airway Studios Perfect setting powder in matte translucent. It's just a translucent matte powder, and I'll be placing this all over my brows because guess what, we don't want no oil seeping through our brows. So once we do it to one brow, we do it to the other brow. I'm just using a regular fluffy brush for this. You can use a pencil, but however I wanted it matte and dry down, so I opt for a brow pomade. So I'm just running my spoolie in it, and it's not a brow tutorial. I have brow tutorials in my playlist, so you can go check that out. So yeah, that's the product I'll be using for my brows. And then I clean up my brows off camera. It's a lazy girl thing, so I just mix my oil absorbing cream and my sunscreen together, and I applied it all over my face and worked it down to the neck. Please moisturize your neck, because yeah, it's really good for it and you will thank me later. So I'm just working everything in, and I leave it on for about a minute or two just to let it soak into my skin, because yeah, we like that. So now it's time to set our primer. So I'm using the same matte translucent powder, and I'm just putting it in my T-zone area. This is actually a dry sponge that I'm using. It's not wet, so yeah, just make sure that you just pat it all in and no excess is left. Even though this looks like I have a lot on, I actually did not. Now I'm taking my no pore primer and I'm just putting it on my T-zone area. This only helps for longevity of it, and I'm telling you, every step that I'm doing right now, I have tested it and it worked. Okay, so I did that to my T-zone. Now I'm going in with concealer. So this is my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Pure Beige, and I'll be putting this on my T-zone area, everything that I want to bring forward. And then I went in with a little bit lighter because I wanted my under eye to be a tad brighter than everywhere else. And this is a damp sponge now. Every step that I'm doing is really crucial. I did not go in with foundation because it's just more product and we don't want that. We want long lasting. All right, so yeah, so I'm just going in with the concealer only, and I'm just going everywhere else. All right, so that's the bridge of my nose, my forehead, and my chin. I use a brush to blend my forehead out just because I had a less space to work with. So now I'm using a matte foundation, and I'm using a sponge for this because we don't want too much product on it, so that's the only reason why I'm using a sponge. So I did one pump on each cheek and I bring it up, and then I blend my concealer and the foundation together so we have a seamless blend with the two, because we don't want any line of demarcation. And you know, whatever you do to one side, you do to the next. All right, so that's basically all I am doing. So now for my nose, I just, whatever excess that's left, I just squeeze my beauty blender and use the butt part, and that's it. That's it. Nothing else. so So my forehead for this, what I'm doing, I just like to do a little bit darker. So I'm just going in my Revlon Color Stay in what, 400 I think, and then just putting a little bit on my forehead. Oops, I did too much. So I'm just blending it out with a sponge, you know, making the sponge soak up all the excess. And then we gotta blend it out so that the both of them mix together, my highlight and the foundation. There you go, blending, 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 mixing the two together. Yeah. So I'm going my Laura Mercier powder, and I'm going to make sure that there's no creasing. Going in with a thin layer. This is a damp sponge, by the way. So going in with a thin layer, putting that on, and then going back in with another layer to bake. Okay, so you blend out the creasing under the eye, then go in with that thin layer, then go in with a second layer to bake. All right, because for me, I have some large pores on my cheek area right there, so that's why I did that. Then I go on my nose, I bake there, bake my forehead, a thin layer on my forehead and a lot on my chin as well. Okay, so now going to my LA Girl in Truly Bronze, and this is what I'll be using for my complexion. All right, so everywhere that I place foundation, this is where I'll be putting this powder. All right, and I blend a little bit down to my neck as well. Okay, and then I use the same thing to contour my nose, the same powder to contour my nose, and ensure to work that up in your brow. I never wanted to do any contouring, so I'm just bronzing. I'm bronzifying to catch Papi's eye. That's what Savannah Silver always says. So I'm just bronzing where I would normally contour and put my blush. That's all I'm doing, and then put a little bit on my forehead because we want to look sun-kissed. I mean, it's summer. So now for the eyes, I'm just taking a concealer brush, and I'm just buffing out my eyelids from the concealer, and then using the same bronzer to put on my eyelid and in my crease. And also I'll be using the same Laura Mercier powder, and I'll be placing that on my brow bone as a highlight, going back in, blending the two, make sure everything is seamless. And you know, as usual, do the same thing to the other eye. Yep. So now it's time to pat away the bakes. I'm just using a foundation brush. There is like little to no product on it, and I'm just buffing away everything, everywhere that I baked. Everywhere that I baked, so making sure everything is good. All right, so now it's time for the setting spray. So I'm using the A Plus setting spray lock and seal. It's a semi-dewy finish, and also semi-dewy finish, and I'm just drenching the face, and then I'll be patting it in with the butt part of my beauty sponge. Yes, going everywhere, eyelid, everywhere, just patting everything in, making sure I don't have any bubbles. Now it's time to get some glow on, so I'm just using that glow right there from my quad palette, and I'm just putting that on my cheekbones, my forehead, on my nose, and on my cupid's bow. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Do you see that when I turn my head, how my glow is on point? Like, come on, that look good. So now for the Phoenix product. Yes, got to be glue sprayed. Yep, we're gonna spray this all over our face, and this is what's gonna let that makeup stay. When I say stay, it's not gonna be moved. And yeah, I work it into my skin using my beauty sponge. So now for the brows, I want my brow hairs to be tamed, so I just sprayed on a spoolie and brush my brow hairs in the direction I want it to go. You can use whatever mascara you want, or you can even use a waterproof mascara. I use whatever mascara I have, and then on my waterline I just use a gel. So this is the finished look. I'm telling you, these steps that I did, it worked for me. I had no flashback when I was taking photos, and I'm a grease ball. So when I tell you I've done some experiments, trust me, it works. If you ever try it, let me know if it worked for you. And yeah, so I'm gonna leave my thumbnail with flash and without flash so you can see. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials, and until next time, bye beauty.